It's a rainy day.
Classic New England.
Look at this. Look at this shit. It's supposed to be a white Christmas. And look at it.
I'm okay with this.
I like snow.
You saw my driveway.
I did. Your drive's your worst drive. Literally the worst driveway ever. So, guess who emailed me?
No idea.
About a year and a half ago, our company got thrown into a real tizzy over a certain article. There were some wild rumors going around at one point about Wyrmwood protected sexual abusers. It was some sort of nonsense like this. We made a Wyrm Lyfe defending ourselves, which we did actually, I think, quite successfully, if not the claims that were being made were refuted. However, it caused more, what's the word for this? Canceled.
Yeah.
Wyrmwood got canceled.
They tried.
They tried. There was an attempted cancellation of Wyrmwood.
Yeah.
Okay. So our good friends, the journalists, after the last round of layoffs, are looking for round 2. The last time this happened, we counterpunched, and then we just shut up, and then we just, like, we turtled, and then eventually it all blew over after X number of months, and we never even talked about it at all. We never actually did a Wyrm Lyfe sort of going into our side of the story or what the hell was going on our side. So,
yeah,
Thomas Manuel, Rascal News. It's basically like 2 or 3 gamers that sort of run a blog and try to get people to pay them money for news. So, this is an email I received from Mr. Thomas Manuel. Tom M. Hello. My name is Thomas, and I'm a journalist with a tabletop gaming site, Rascal News, and we're interested in reporting on the layoffs that happened last month. Right now, the only public information is what is in the Wyrm Lyfe videos. Would you be willing to talk to us?
Wow.
Wow.
Journalists actually want to do some journalism.
Well, so here's the thing. I responded, can I record the conversation? I do not think I'm going to hear back from this person. They will not allow me to record the conversation. Tom asked 5 questions. I'm going to go through, I'm going to read you these 5 questions, I'm going to answer these 5 questions. If I answered these 5 questions to Tom, he would twist and manipulate and turn into a pretzel all of these answers. See, and that is what happened the last time. Because one of our employees, without our knowledge, did record a conversation he had with Ms. Linda. And when the article came out, the conversation that was recorded showed a lot of very key details that were intentionally omitted from the interview in order to make Wyrmwood look as bad as possible.
Sure.
And that is why I do not believe Mr. Tom will actually allow me to record the interview. Because if I record the interview, he won't be able to twist our statements or intentionally omit key facts.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these questions.
Yeah, preemptively.
And let's go through these. Let's go through these. So, number 1. There have been some negative comments and reactions from viewers of Wyrm Lyfe about these videos, including people talking about unsubscribing or criticizing the act of recording. What's the company's stance on that? Do you stand by the representation of the layoff process shown in the videos? And then he mentions the 3 videos. Yeah, so in terms of, there's talks of unsubscribing and criticizing from the channel. Yeah, no, we haven't seen many unsubscriptions. I think there's been a handful. Matt, how many people unsubscribed over the last?
Last I looked, it was approaching like 200.
Okay, so and we have 120,000 subscribers.
Yep.
So approximately 200 out of 120,000 subscribers unsubscribed. So there you go. Do I stand by the representation of the layoff process shown in the videos? I don't even know what that means. What do you mean stand by the representation? People just watch the dumb video. Just watch the video. Form your own opinion. Whatever my opinion is of the videos, who cares? This is not like, I don't even know what in terms of how many people actually unsubscribed, the answer is 200. Okay. And in terms of, do I stand by the representation of the layoff process? I don't even know the point of that question.
I guess it's like, do you feel that it was accurately represented in the video?
I don't think he's talking about accuracy, right? Because actually he's talking about representation. No, he wants, because this is the thing, this is a journalist. They only care about framing. They don't care about reality, right?
I guess.
Because, look, the layoffs happened. That's the reality.
Yeah.
You can simply report on that. I don't know what, the representation. I don't even know how you can report on representation. That's not even a fact. That's not a thing. That's just like a vibe. Do you agree with the vibe? That's not a newsworthy fact. So anyway. Did Doug Costello, Brianna Resendiz, or any of the other managers meet with anyone one-on-one as Troy Goodman recommended in the video? This is not what we wanted. So we did a mass conversation, and then anybody that wanted to could meet one-on-one, and many people did meet one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right? So there were a lot of people, most people, I'd say 80 to 90% of people just left. And then there were a group of people that stayed behind, and everybody was talked to that wanted to talk. Let me restate that. Everybody that wanted to talk one-on-one was able to talk one-on-one. In the same video, there was a discussion about profitability and cash flow. Is Wyrmwood profitable in this current financial year? Is it cash flow positive? Call Mr. Broman. Because I'm pretty sure the profitability is going to be real close. Like kind of a break even, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Maybe a slight profitability. And then cash flow, we've been cash flow negative this year. But let's call Broman.
These questions are less seedy.
Yeah, the line. Wait till number 5.
I'm just saying. So
you're gonna see the angle. You're gonna see the angle. You're gonna see where they were looking for the chink in the armor, the gap in the armor to plunge the knife. Oh, Mr. Broman, you're going on speakerphone.
Excellent.
He's on speakerphone.
On Wyrm Lyfe.
You're on Wyrm Lyfe. Hey.
Hey.
Mr. Broman, I have some questions. A journalist contacted me asking about private financial information. Should Wyrmwood share private financial information with journalists or the internet?
Yeah, absolutely not. No.
Well, I'm going to ask you to disclose 2 things. A, did Wyrmwood produce a profit this year? Do we know that yet? And if so, how much profit or loss, roughly?
Sure. So year to date, we roughly have about a $200,000 profit.
Big money.
Before depreciation. Depreciation's a big number, like $800,000 so far. So before depreciation, more of an EBITDA calculation is a $1 million profit.
Gotcha. So we have
through October, November, December, going to be dicey.
Gotcha. So and that's on a top line revenue of what? Roughly.
Roughly 26 million.
So on $26 million worth of deliveries, as of right now, we have approximately $200,000 of profit.
Yes. Bottom line, GAAP profit, right?
Huge money. Huge money. Huge money.
Well, yes and no. Not really, because you have, although that's profit, you have loan payments on our leases, which aren't reflected in the income statement. So that's not enough in and of itself. A profit isn't, it's going to be more.
Gotcha. So we have not been highly profitable this year. That is a very safe statement to make.
If you're willing to disclose that, that's true. We have not.
Okay, fair enough. Now, in terms of cash flow, taking the entire year on balance, we have been running cash flow negative this year.
Right, because of, in fact, just because of my last statement that, the loan payments and whatnot, that they're eating up the cash at a higher rate than our profitability.
Gotcha. So, There you go.
There it is.
All right. So that's that question. So Steve has cleared it up. So yes, cash flow has been negative and profit has been positive, extremely modest. Now the problem is that profit is like a dirty word to some people, as opposed to an understanding that profit is a prerequisite for survival. You cannot run a company at a loss.
Yep.
So now that sort of I'm introducing sort of reality into the situation, which Tom may not be ready for.
What is?
Oh, all right. So here we go. Number 4. In the same video, the whiteboard says that Doug Costello will have the final say on all layoffs. Can you confirm this was the case? Yes, I can confirm that. I gave, the company was approximately 170 people large. I don't know. I don't have all the information, so I gathered up all the managers. All the managers made their suggestions. We had a very large meeting where every executive and manager in the company was there, gave their input, and the whole team produced a list. I then signed off on that list. That was the process. So, and yeah, that is the case. Now here we go, number 5. This is where Tom's looking for some clickable headlines. After the layoffs, one woman was reportedly seen crying on the premise, asking if people knew where she could set up her tent. Can you comment on this incident? So there was a woman who was claiming that because she was losing this job, she was going to become homeless. And could she set up her tent somewhere? So this is the classic, like this is it, right? It's like, let's find sort of the most retching, difficult part of the story, and we're going to focus on that. We're going to focus on that. And this is where you can lie by omission. If I talk to Mr. Tom, I have quite a bit, I know exactly who he's talking about, and I have I have a fair amount of information about this woman that will make her seem much less sympathetic, okay? I am confident that Mr. Thomas would omit all of those facts because it does not help the narrative he's trying to create. He's trying to create the narrative, heartless, capitalist, nasty man Doug destroys the life of young woman who is driven into poverty by his profit-seeking machinations. Get that on your headline, right? That's good.
It's a good one.
So, let's go talk to Troy, head of HR, about this person in question, because I remember it exactly. I remember this person. Hi, Troy. There's certain people, Matt, that when you mention their name to Troy, he will get a look in his face.
I'm being set up.
Like, oh, good God, not this person. Ready for the name?
Go ahead. Oh,
Yeah.
seriously?
Yeah. So, they're writing an article, and I got a series of 5 questions.
So did I.
And those questions have, on the 5th question, refers to a woman who is going to be made homeless by the heartless decisions that we made as a company. So I want you to be completely transparent.
Sure, 100%.
Good. I'm going to tell you, here's what the journalist wants to do. The journalist wants to get in contact with
Sure.
get as much negative information as possible
100%.
from this. Well, you can make your own judgments. And then any other information that we have that casts aspersions on her story or character, they will then conveniently not report.
Disregard. Yep.
So give a quick brief, just the.
Sure. So we hired as part of the bunch of hiring that we did. And as soon as she came on board, there were immediate challenges, literally from day one. Literally from day one. I can't go into detail what those challenges were, but there are immediate challenges starting day one. We worked with her through 100% of the challenges that she presented to us. We gave time off when it wasn't necessary to give time off. She approached me one day and said, I now have been medically cleared to do something. If I can get a loan for X amount, I can go ahead and get my driver's license back, and I don't have to rely on anybody for rides in. 100% immediately said yes, no questions asked. How much do you need the loan for?
So let me jump in here briefly. Let me jump in briefly. Wyrmwood offers interest-free loans to employees with no credit checks, no interest, and we structure the payment to work with their paycheck. Okay, so this is a nicety.
Yeah.
This is a benefit we offer employees at Wyrmwood, right? Which is kind of nuts.
I didn't know that.
It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and as we go on the story, you're going to see why it's more nuts than you think.
Sure.
So as part of the discussion in this loan, I sit down with the employee and I say, okay, what can you pay back? How much can you pay back each paycheck? And oftentimes, they recommend an amount that I know they cannot pay back per paycheck. And so I take them off the ledge and say, okay, that seems a bit aggressive for me. Let's reduce it by X, which will extend the time of the loan. As you know from Doug, this is interest-free.
Yeah.
Right? So we did that. That person, she then approached me, and I went out to her a few days later, and I said, how's it going getting your license back? And she had said, due to a life situation, I actually have to take that money and spend it on living at a hotel instead. And I said, okay, sorry to hear that. Let me know if I can help you. She approached, I think, Brianna at one point, and it's a little fuzzy here on the details, but the outcome is not fuzzy. She approached Brianna at one point, or approached her supervisor at the time, and I guess said something about she had to live in a tent. So the supervisor himself gave her money for a hotel room for a period of time. I think it was like 3 days or a day or something like that. When I found out about that, I got a hold of her and I asked what was happening, and she gave me the details of what was happening, and I said, okay, Wyrmwood will pay for 1 week stay at a hotel for you. We won't ask you for any money back. We'll just pay for it flat out. I literally called the hotel, gave them my credit card information, the company credit card information, and we paid for initially 5 days. That was accidental. It meant to be 7. She contacts me back and said, hey, are you going to pay for an additional 2 days? Found out that we did it for 5 days and it was supposed to be for 7. So I called the hotel manager back. And I said, hey, we want to pay for an additional 2 days. Okay? This person got caught up in the layoffs. We have not asked for the loan back.
One second. Let me just. I want one more. I was told by you that this person, there was some sort of situation that was going on, and we contacted the state of Massachusetts, flagged as some sort of like chronic fraud.
So
maybe that's too strong a word. Like, there was some shit that I want you to go into this, because I only heard about this tangentially. Like, I heard about this from you. It's basically like, oh, we have this employee who's making these claims. The state of Massachusetts has already flagged this person as basically a fraudster. That's the vibe I got. Can you just explain what the hell that is all about?
So I can, but I have to be very careful because this may identify the person we're talking about, number one. Number two, we may stretch into some confidentiality reasons, so let me make it as generic as possible.
Generically. Just
Generically.
Talk generically.
So I had a reason to be contacting a third party regarding this person. And in my contacts with the third party, they offered to me, oh yeah, we've seen her before. And the person I spoke to, the third party, said, yeah, she's got a red flag in our system about this. And she said she also has a red flag in regards to the Department of Transportation, Massachusetts, the ones that issue a driver's license. So she's got a red flag, and generally, anytime you see that red flag, it means they're a habitual offender.
Sure.
Habitual offender meaning this is someone that's playing the system. There's people that work the systems. There's people that live in these systems.
Yeah.
Right? They basically go from job to job to job, basically trying to get claims so that they can get paid not to work. And this is a thing Troy has to deal with.
This is not an unusual thing.
Anyway, so Wyrmwood, let's just get this straight. For this person,
Yep.
interest-free loan,
Yes.
which is not going to get paid back.
No, we didn't ask for it back. Correct. During the layoff, she had approached me, and I said, loan's forgiven.
Gotcha. In addition to that, interest-free loan that was not paid back, a 7 days hotel stay as basically just a free gift because shit went sideways for you,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Had many issues with attendance at work,
Yes.
work quality.
Yes.
When it was indicated to us that this person is potentially a habitual fraud in a way,
Yes.
right? That was indicated to us. And yeah, so she got laid off. And then she runs around saying like, oh, I'm going to be homeless. And I have no idea if she is home. I have no clue. I have no idea who this person is.
Right.
I have no but here's the thing. If the journalist gets to talk to her, it's going to be all the negative. None of the positive will ever get into that article.
Right.
None of the positive will ever get into that article. Ever. It won't. And that's why TomTom will not allow for a recorded conversation.
Right.
Because if I say those things and it's recorded, because my understanding is journalists can't publish outright lies, right? There's ethical, like, because that could be slander, right? If I knowingly lie about you, you could potentially have legal troubles in terms of slander. However, if I just happen to know 5 good things and 1 bad thing, I can report the 1 bad thing without telling you any of the good things. That's perfectly legal. Is it good journalism? No, but that's what journalism is.
Yeah.
Okay? And so
It's clicks. It's all clicks and everything. I mean, there's no incentive for them to post a completely neutral article.
No.
None whatsoever.
So anyway, TomTom, if you want to have a conversation, I'll have a recorded conversation, right, which is also reckless, but I'll do it. I would talk to a journalist if it was a recorded conversation.
Sure.
They're not going to offer that, I don't believe.
Everything we did for this person,
Sure.
100% of the things that we did for this person is not something you're going to find in general corporate America at all.
No.
You are not going to find that. We take care of the employees as best as we can.
Sure.
In all circumstances. And by the way, what we offered to this person is not unusual. We've had other people approach us and say, hey, I'm in a rough situation. Can I do this? Yes. In some cases, we didn't ask for the loan repayment, even while they were still working for us.
Sure.
Because of their financial situation. In other situations, we have flat out paid for people's education.
Sure.
Without asking anything in return, without signing an agreement saying you're going to be with us for a next period of time, right? We've done all of these things for our employees. And I would love to take this stuff and jam it down somebody's throat.
Yeah, it pisses you off.
It does.
It pisses you off. It absolutely pisses you off because that is not what gets reported on. And it's fucked up. Certainly. Yeah.
Just another day at Wyrmwood.
Well, the thing is, luckily, the last article they actually was the thing is, all these publications are dying. Like Rascal News doesn't have any. Honestly, I almost want to bleep out Rascal News because we will be sending them business,
Sure.
right? Because
Yeah.
they don't have a following.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, that's it.
Give me. Yeah. Oh.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You lying.
Hey, so we heard back from our good friend
Tom Tom.
Tom Tom. Oh,
Remember the movie Three Little Ninjas?
Yeah.
Tum Tum, Colt, and Rocky. Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum. So,
Yeah. 3 Little Ninjas.
anyone? Three ninjas.
So I said, can I record the conversation? And he said, I'm requesting an email comment, which would be on the record. If you're not comfortable with that, we can do a Zoom call. And then I said, okay, well, can the Zoom call be recorded? And do I have permission to use the footage from the Zoom call? And if I do email you a comment, will you agree to include my entire email comment with no editing in your piece? Because I don't want to send him a comment, and he's like, oh, take this word and this word.
Yeah.
Stick these together. So I was like, look, I'll do a recorded conversation, or I'll send you a comment if you agree that you'll actually just use the comment. And he's a hard no. I cannot commit to any conditions around our editorial process. Now listen. Editorial process. This is 3 people on a blog. So like, this is not the New York Times. There's no editorial board. So this is, he's overstating the editorial process. Anyways, I will represent your statement accurately and honestly. I'm sure you would.
Oh, we just saved them a bunch of time. They don't even have to write an article.
Exactly. You don't need to write an
We
article.
already answered the questions.
How can you write an article on a YouTube video? Couldn't you simply just say,
Go watch the
go
YouTube video.
watch the video? You don't need to report.
They're gonna talk to the most embittered people that were laid off and try to spin up some sensationalized narrative surrounding everything and make us out to be supervillains.
And
is what will happen.
omit any positive information.
Omit nuance itself,
Sure.
regardless of what it is.
I believe that's the end of my conversation and my very brief relationship with Tom Tom. I wish him the best of luck
Yep.
in his blogging endeavors. And Godspeed, Rascal News.